Step number 1, give them a reason to care. By the way, you're welcome to write this all down or just, buy the book. Where's Tracy? Give them a reason to care. The second one, give them a reason to believe. The third step, tell them what they need to know. And the fourth step, tell them what they need to do. We mess this up so much. We either jump in at reason to believe, talking all about ourselves, or we just jump straight in and giving them information. The problem is, one, we've not got them to understand what they're supposed to do because of the presentation, just leave and go back to work. But most importantly is we've not actually explained to them why they need to listen. That's step number 1, give them a reason to care. So this guy comes onto the stage and he's very excited. Okay? He's really, really nerdy, excited, and bubbly, and he comes on stage. This is TED in, I think, 2011. He's like, hello, ladies and gentlemen. He's got a high accent, and he says, I'm really, really excited. I want to talk to you today about this telescope and so Hudenflugen, and what happens is when the gas Schwadenfasten mixes with 49. I mean, am I right? And then he goes, and you're sitting there, and I was watching this presentation, and I was like, I can do this. I know I should listen. My son loves astrophysics. I thought, I'm going to take this home to him. And I was trying my best. And then all of a sudden, at the corner of my eye, I saw Jeff Bezos pull out his phone and go like this. I thought, if the founder billionaire of Amazon can tap out, so can I, right? And this guy was just too smart. He was a 9 who dumbed it down to a 7 for people who understood it at a 3. Right, we've all seen those people. I saw J. Craig Venter map the human genome, and he turned around and said, guys, let me explain this to you in a simple way. Nuclear fission. Okay, so if you're and I'm like, that was his metaphor. That's where he went to make it easy for us to understand, because he can't understand that there's anyone stupid enough to not understand how nuclear fission works. Anyway, so he does this whole presentation, and as he finishes, he gets to the point, and he finishes off, and he says, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is how we will be able to prove to you within 10 years if there is life on another planet. Thank you very much. And as he's walking off, everyone's like, wait, what? Lead with that, okay? Start there. Start with why, not why I should listen. The way I would have coached him if I was speaking would have been this. It would have been walk onto stage, good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming. My name is Garrick Israelian, and it's such a privilege to be here with you today on this stage in TED Global 2020. Everyone's taken back. He says, you see, today, for the first time ever, I'm going to answer a question. I'm going to answer a question to this audience for the first time that human beings have been asking since we first gazed up into the stars. The answer I'm going to give you is to the question, are we alone? And I can tell you categorically that the answer to that question is. But you see, I'm getting ahead of myself, because this journey actually started in this exact stage 10 years ago in 2012, when I stood up and told people about a small telescope that I had built. Now we want to know. Now we want to understand. What is this telescope and what does it do? And in fact, when I rewatched it, it realizes that these certain gases, and there's one gas that can only exist when gas A and B come into contact with some form of organic life. At that point, gas 3 will form. He has built a telescope that will scan the universe, basically, for this gas. If he finds this gas, there is some form of life. But I wasn't invested because he didn't give me a reason to care up front. We forget that so much. You have to buy their attention before you sell them anything. Then you get into step number 3. And step number 3 is essentially where we got to from the second I introduced care, believe, know, do. The second I got to that bit in the structure was me now delivering the information that I actually want you to take away with you. This structure, this is the payload of the presentation. I thought just for the sake of this, I would add one more little bit in here, something for you to think about. We've all been taught about this principle of a USP. Your USP is your unique selling proposition. However, I think we need to be more mindful of our UPS, the unique problem that only you can solve. When you're selling, I often talk about this idea about features and benefits. We've been taught to sell features or benefits of the solution we sell. But I don't think that's the case. And to get back to the reason to care, I think you don't sell the features and benefits of an ambulance. People aren't going to go in it. You sell the accident. If you can sell the accident, the ambulance sells itself. Now, most importantly, if you can look at what is the one thing that only we can solve in our business better than anybody else. I've turned every presentation and every pitch into a two-horse race. Me versus the best of the other four. They're setting creativity, let them fight for that. I've identified a unique problem that we are in a better position to solve, and I've doubled down on selling that. It's a small little tidbit, but I thought I would include it in the middle of here. Work out what your UPS is, the unique problem only you can solve is. And when you're presenting, make sure that that is the problem that you get your customers to think is important. And that brings me to the final step. And the final step is very simple, is you got to tell them what they need to do. If you do not give your audience implicit instruction to do something, they will do nothing.